ladies and gentlemen, bringing to the stage Ronald Ford.
Good evening. December 28th, 2015. The whole room gasped as the heart monitor, the numbers on the heart monitor dropped from about 40 or 50 down to 0. And I can remember as if it was just like an hour ago. The nurse stopped us and said, we have to confirm whether or not he has passed. So at that moment, everything went into like action movie slow motion for me. I looked over, I see my daughter kind of hunched over, my wife's arms wrapped around her shoulders, they're bawling in tears. I see my sister, she has this like disturbed anger mixed in with just mixed in with just like an abundance of tears. And I look at my mom and she had the most inexplainable look on her face that I have ever seen. And me, I'm just looking at him in the face like, this ain't even happening. This is impossible. And then out of the blue, with the most piercing and honest voice I'd ever heard, she looked back at all of us and said, he's passed. And I'm like, oh, hell no. You get that, no, that pain just overwhelms you. Now I'm in like frantic mode. I'm thinking this can't be real. This is Ron Ford. This is the strongest man I've ever known in my entire life. We've been in this position several times prior to this. In fact, he had been in 2 comas within the last couple years prior to that. Both of them spanning about 30 days each. And he bounced back each time. It was like a miracle. We like, he ain't going nowhere. But this time was different. His body had all it could take. His liver gave out on him. It was comparable to like Superman succumbing to his kryptonite. He couldn't do no more. So now I'm sitting here looking at his face, trying to find me in his face, at the same time crying like uncontrollably. But I'm looking at him, just everything like, this is my hero, this is my guidance, this is Ron Ford, this is me, you know. I was born in Detroit, 1985, almost 31 years ago. I used to sweep up in the barbershop that he worked in on 7 Mile, and I can't think of the cross street. I've been with him my entire life. At 9 months, he had me potty trained. You know, he had a drug habit, so it was either diapers, food, or his issue. So one of them had to be eliminated. And so I could barely walk according to what they tell me. And he just took me in the bathroom with him and like, is this how you do it? Get to it. So we left here in 89. I was 3 years old. We went to Los Angeles. And I can remember like it was yesterday. Like he would get up at like the ass crack of dawn, like after being up all night long smoking or entertaining or, you know, whatever we were doing or whatever they was doing. And he would get up in the morning and hit the streets, pick up cans and bottles. And he was about my size at the time, maybe a little bigger, but about my size. He'd tie 2 or 3 shopping carts together and fill them with cans and bottles. And back then, you'd have these recycling machines, and you can take the cans and get like 15 cents a can, or a bottle was like 20-something cents, I can't remember, but that's what he would do to get our hotel fare for the night, food, and that issue. But hotel fare and food came first. That was always this thing. Make sure we had somewhere to stay, something to eat, and then if there was anything left, they would do their thing. Sometimes I would go with him. He would take me with him. We'd be out there walking. We had no car, with no such thing as a car. We go to the grocery store. And in the back of the grocery store, they would dispose of all the expired products, you know. We would dumpster dive. We'd find muffins, bread, stuff like that was expired, but it wasn't bad. We could eat it. And I found a mini birthday gifts in the dumpster, alleyways. The whole family would go out at time. Most of the time, it was all four of us, me, my mom, my sister, and my dad. My sister's 10 years older than me. So imagine for a 14-year-old, like a high school student, what it felt like to be out washing car windows for money and your friends may see you. That's some deep shit. And thinking back on it, I feel for her, because I'm pretty sure that was the most embarrassing thing, you could probably, one of the most embarrassing things you can go through. But anyway, we be out there watching car windows all day long. Going from grocery store, parking lot to parking lot. Hey, can I wash your windows for some spare change? We made money doing that. You never have a job in LA, not one job. So it obviously worked. But I'd be tired, whining. I was about 6, 7. We left when I was 9, so about 6, 7, 5. I whine, run away from him. Now this is, matter of fact, mind you, this is after he'd been up all night, getting high. And I'm running from him down the street. I'm tired. I'm like, I want to go home. And he running, catch me and put me on his shoulders. Walk. Tired. He wasn't big. I'm 167 pounds. I got a 10-year-old that's about, golly, I don't know how big she is, but I look at it all the time. Like, I don't understand how he was able to put me on his shoulders and walk all day. But that's what he would do. Then I calmed down. He put me back on the ground. We keep strolling until I had another fit. And then he'd do it again. But always, we were first priority. He was an entertainer, like Satori said. He was a songwriter. He was a performer with one of the greatest, not African-American bands, but bands, period, ever. Like she said, Department Funkadelics. And you got to, kind of understand, like, for me, that was weird, because I'm like, we're broke, dude. You know what I'm saying? So, I come home from school, and he ain't there. I'm like, well, yeah, he on the road. So as I got older, I'm like, what is the road? And what, and then I find out what it is, and I'm like, why are we still broke? But even deeper than that, as a man, now I look back and try to figure out, why wasn't he angry about that? Why wasn't he tripping about not having any money, living in the streets, walking down the street, hustling all day long, and seeing his musician friends pass him in a limousine, and we out there washing car windows? Now I understand. He was a different kind of guy, cut from a different cloth. He didn't make excuses. He didn't cry over spilled milk. He did what he had to do and was obligated to do for who belonged to him. So now, fast forward, he gets clean out the blue sky. And you can ask my mama, 1996, I think it was. She's come home and he don't get high. And I'm like, what's wrong? I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? What is happening to, what happened? And he never picked up a pipe again. That in itself amazed me. But he had a faith throughout all of that. He got clean and he got like deep in the church. His spirituality was like magnetic. His testimony was magnetic. I'll give you a sidebar story. When he got clean, one of his jobs, not the first one, but maybe the second or third, when he worked at a bread company, right? And he fell in love with this church, Westwood Baptist Church, and him and his pastor, our pastor, was like, they became like this. So once again, expired food. When the bread expired, he'd take it to the church. The annex, the wall was lined up full of bread, stacked up about 4 feet high. Anybody who wanted it could come get it. And that's, that was, I guess he felt like that was his service to the church. And they loved him for that. He was adamant about his faith. He was adamant about his testimony. He was a teacher. He gave knowledge. He tried to give advice to any and everybody who needed it at any moment. He was one of them dudes that you'd be like, man, I wish he stopped talking about God. Because this is getting annoying. I get it, but I'm not where you're at right now. Let me live. But he was adamant about it, though. He instilled it in me before he even got saved. God is weird like that. Anyway, I respected him. You know, I respect him with everything in me, right? So now I'm 30. He passed December 28th. 2015. I'm 30 now. I'm going through a separation, potential divorce, right? In the midst of him being sick. And then he ups and dies on me. So I gotta face and navigate all the BS that's ahead of me, alone, without a man in my life for the first time ever. Him and my mother, they have they have an extreme bond, special. As a young man, and even as a teenager, I always wanted what they had. Despite the drugs, the homelessness, the no money, it didn't matter, because to be frank with you guys, that was some of the funnest times of my life, when we didn't have nothing. You know, it builds character. But I always wanted what they had. So now I'm looking at like, well, okay, I had this magnificent blueprint of a man. Why am I falling short in my relationship? What am I doing as a father and as a husband that is just not right and working? See, my mother was still using after he got clean. Another sidebar story. Mom, excuse me. My mother used to steal from us, which is, I'm pretty sure everybody in here has a crackhead somewhere in their family, so you know what I mean. She used to steal from us, and I love my mother. Just, it's nothing. This is just the truth. She used to steal from us, and one day I wake up and I thought I had got creative by putting the money in my pillowcase, and it was still gone. I'm a teenager, I'm in high school, I got a little job at Taco Bell, so I'm getting a little money, and it's gone, so I'm like, dude, you need to put this in check and get her out of here if this is what we're gonna have to go through. And he looked at me, he said, she ain't going nowhere. The choice is yours. I'm like, damn. But there's a hierarchy. It's God, it's the man, it's the woman, it's the children. And at that moment, I was stepping out of my lane. Thank you. I was over here trying to tell the driver what to do. So once again, I'm thinking now, what happened? Because his faith was, you can imagine what it is to have your wife out in the street. You don't know what she could be doing, but that kind of faith and dedication and determination, I marvel at now. So anyway, he's gone. Wife's gone. I'm laying up in the bed, damn near about to kill myself. That's hot. I got these muslin backdrops that I used to use for photography covering all the windows in my bedroom so no light can get in there. I'm like going on like binge drinking, 3-day weekends, just getting smashed, chain smoking cigarettes, right? That's about a month ago. It's just recent. My aunt called. My aunt, his sister, Donna, called. We don't talk much. Last time I had seen her was in December. Well, yeah, January when the funeral was. That's the last time I seen it. And over my life, we don't speak regularly. She's in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. Product of Plainfield, New Jersey. Hard, rough woman. No games. So she calls. I don't even got a number program in my phone. I see like a 262 area code or something like that. I think it's a bill collector. But I answer the phone. She said, "What's up, Ron?" Look, she called me Ron. She said, "What's up, Ron?" I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Aunt Don? So how you doing?" She was like, "I'm good." She went in and telling me a story about how she was facing foreclosure and how her and her husband, had been going through that, and then how God flipped the script on it and put her in a position where not only did she avoid foreclosure, she was able to refinance, got a better mortgage and all that kind of stuff. Shit's going good for her. God is working in her life. She asked me how I'm doing. I'm like, Donna, to be honest with you, I ain't doing too hot right now, you know. Lacey gone, which is my wife. I ain't seen my daughter in about a month. My dad is gone. I am out of it, right? And she said, you're going to have to let them go. In that Newark voice, that you're going to have to let them go. And I'm like, go say, you're going to have to let him and her go. And I'm like, okay, I understand you saying I got to let her go. You know, she came later. But let my father go? I'm thinking, how sympathetic is that? That's what I'm thinking in my head. How sympathetic is that? I'm sitting there telling you I'm about to kill myself because my daddy gone, and you say you got to let him go. I ain't said it to her, of course, because, you know, I was trying to avoid any backlash. You know, she ain't, you listen when she talks. So I'm like, all right. She said, you're going to have to let him go. I had to. I've known him since birth. I had to let him go. Now you're going to have to let him go so that you can live. And immediately I teared up, like that burning feeling in your eyes, because it was a harsh reality, but I knew in me that it was the truth. See, when we lose things, especially in my case, in this case, when we lose someone, our vision gets so blurred that we don't notice what we're gaining within that loss. By losing him, I gained an opportunity to be my own man. For the first time, I thought I'd been grown, to be honest with y'all. I used to tell my mom and my dad, I'm grown, let me do this. But I gained, for the first time in my life, a true opportunity to be a man. Stuff go wrong, it's on me now. Ain't no money, it's all on me. It's on me. My dad gave me everything you could give a person in a lifetime. He taught me everything. He prepared me through example, by the way, not just talking it, getting up, pushing them cans and bottles, overcoming drug addiction, being faithful to his wife through, the worst conditions that you could, probably imagine. Giving God tithe. He tithed every day. Every Sunday. Since I think from the time he joined that church to the time he died, he didn't miss tithing. He showed me. He didn't just tell me. He gave me everything I need to be as strong as him, and probably strong. I just ain't figured it out all the way yet. He introduced me to Jesus Christ. That's the biggest gift you can give anybody. So, all right. I don't think he would have left here without giving me everything I needed. I truly believe that, His favorite scripture, I won't say favorite, but one of his favorite scriptures, we got it engraved on his headstone, is Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And it reads, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove that what is perfect, good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. And in a nutshell, that is his life. We're talking about a dude that came from nothing. Left his mama's house when he was probably 12 years old. Had to. Been on his own since he was a kid. Been all over the world. Never had nothing, but should have everything. And at every turning point in his life, he renewed. He didn't go backwards. Never. He didn't go backwards. If you take anything, and this is Father's Day weekend, so this is more to the men in the room. A lot of men stood up when she asked were any fathers or sons in here. And it's sons, one day you will be fathers. And if you take anything from what I'm trying to share with you, I want you all to value that role of a father. Be accountable in that role. Hold yourself accountable in that role. Respect that role. Because that is one of the most precious roles that you can take. When you make that decision, to reproduce, which you might not have made a decision, it might be an accident. But regardless, when the reality becomes another life, that's on you. And he used to always tell me, don't worry about what she do. Because when this is all said and done, God gonna hold you accountable for what you did. So think about that. Love hard. Love consistently. Don't stop loving. When you leave here, be so loved out that you be like, God, man, I ain't got nothing left. Try it. He did. And I'm still alive. I'm one of the few from my era, not era, but my group of people still here. I'll be 31 next Monday, 27. I don't know too many 31-year-olds I grew up with. So what he did worked. And I implore you, try it. If you're a man, be a man at all times, at all costs. Don't make excuses. Don't blame anyone. And that's my time. Thank you.
Ron Ford, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Woo!